Kate's Corner, and today we're going to talk about the digestive system. We're going to look at the convoluted path of how food starts in our mouth and then goes into digestion. We use these for energy and then get rid of the waste that we don't need. So let's start, and the first place digestion starts in is actually in the mouth. And the first place digestion starts in is actually in the mouth. When you look at the mouth, we have our little anatomical figure here. We have a cavity, our nice oral cavity, filled with teeth. These teeth are good for chewing, tearing, gnashing, getting that food into much smaller pieces. And as we start to chew, salivary glands are stimulated. And these salivary glands begin to produce mucus and water and enzymes, in particular amylase, which is an enzyme that begins to break down starches. So we chew, and we have this great muscle of the tongue that will work that food around into a nice round ball called the bolus. And it's just the right size to fit down the back of our throat, down our esophagus. So as we look into the mouth, and if you've ever looked in the mirror, stick out your tongue and go, ah, you'll see a little piece of tissue hanging in the back of your throat. My kids usually call it the punching bag. But this little uvula, when you swallow, is forced up, and it will close the connection area to the nasal cavities. So that way you're not putting milk out your nose or spaghetti out your nose or something like that. As you swallow, there's another little projection called the epiglottis, and this epiglottis will now close onto what we call the larynx or the voice box. And this is our trachea. This is the tube that goes down to our lungs for breathing. This is the respiratory system, and we're not going to go any further than that either. So down in the back of your throat, we have this now, the food tube, the esophagus. So let's take a little better model and take a look at our esophagus. And here's the trachea. This is our wind tube or our air pipe, and behind it is the esophagus. The esophagus is our food tube. It's a nice circular muscle that stretches when we swallow, activates muscle action at that time called peristalsis. And the peristalsis is like your esophagus doing the giant wave all the way down to your stomach. And it moves the food down to your stomach. So basically all the esophagus is truly a food tube from the mouth to the stomach. So here we are down here at the stomach,